Good evening, I'm Cari Davies. Now the headlines in London. Figures obtained by ITV News London reveal violent incidents are increasing for TfL bus drivers and underground staff. Some say they face aggression, verbal and physical abuse on a daily basis. In the last year, physical assaults have risen by 10%. Kafak Pater has this exclusive report.
Night has fallen in London. As the capital wakes up for an evening of drinking and partying, staff on its transport network prepare themselves for another day of possible abuse. Sometimes it's verbal, sometimes things get physical.
Yeah, just drive the bus, you pathetic joker you have.
Videos like this show the ugly reality of working for Transport for London. The dangers staff face, dangers which at times can be life-threatening. ITV News was given access to Stratford Station. We went behind the tube lines, saw what enforcement officers see as they look for threats to both the public and their colleagues.
I mean, that's a very thick vest you've got on there.
Yeah, it is. It's to protect us and protect the public.
Do you actually need it?
If I start telling you the stories, we'll stay here. Tell me definitely, we do need it. Just recently at Piccadilly line in Turnpike Lane Station, we had to support our colleagues, RCIs or revenue inspectors, with a very aggressive male who had a dangerous weapon, and that weapon was an actual firearm.
Figures obtained directly from TfL show that in the last year alone there have been 638 instances of physical abuse against bus drivers. A slightly higher number for underground staff, with 852 cases, all instigated and caused by the public. As a commuter, the risk to life in a job like this is rarely thought of. But for the frontline staff, it's something that weighs heavily on their minds.
Do you ever get scared during this job?
I mean, there's always that feeling, but the thing is, you always have the support of your colleagues, so it's something that you learn to deal with on a daily basis.
So, it's never 100% safety. Always when we're going on deployment, we have to consider our dynamic risk assessment. 100% is not the option. Is never the option, and can change from 0 to 150.
Down by the station barriers, rush hour is fast approaching, and so come the fare evaders. When staff do their jobs and try to stop them, tensions flare. Much like in this case, it was fortunately resolved without conflict, but not all situations end like this.
The first and most important thing is the staff report it, and that we encourage that. If it's supplied with some body-worn video evidence, that is extremely beneficial to us. The police really get a lot of benefit from that.
While the staff may be encouraged to do this, we found that not every case goes up to the police.
Let's take Aldgate East, for example. There were 7 reports of physical abuse, but only 4 were reported to British Transport Police.
Right, so not all of those physical abuse reports will meet the threshold. So it could be a push and a shove, which is still unacceptable, but may not pass that threshold.
The Mayor of London has announced the scrappage scheme will no longer be means tested. From the 21st of August, Sadiq Khan says every Londoner with a polluting car will be able to receive a grant of up to £2,000. But the Mayor's critics say it's too little, too late. Carolyn Sim has the story.
To drive home his commitment to ULEZ expansion, an electric bus was Sadiq Khan's backdrop of choice. Keen to get people on board with the scheme, the Mayor announced that scrappage grants will be increased and all Londoners with non-compliant vehicles will be eligible to apply.
My dad was a bus driver.
Sadiq says he's been listening to Londoners, but is this extra money more about Labour's loss?
The decision to expand the ULEZ was a very difficult one, not one I took lightly, but it's the right one. I'm not willing to delay, water down, or step back on these vital health and green policies that are going to save lives, protect children's lungs and tackle the climate emergency.
So, from Monday, the 21st of August, a £2,000 scrappage grant can be applied for by every Londoner with a non-compliant car. From today, the grant for wheelchair-accessible vehicles goes up from £5,000 to £10,000. Small businesses and charities could now scrap vans for £7,000 and minibuses could be eligible for £9,000.
Good boy, come.
But the increase will make little difference for this charity, which sends mobile vets to care for the dogs of vulnerable people across London. Both its vans aren't ULEZ compliant, but replacing them would mean refitting expensive medical equipment as well.
Doesn't change a thing for us, I'm afraid. This vehicle is worth a lot more than £7,000. You know, it's all kitted out as a transporter, and our vet vehicle, to replace that and become ULEZ compliant and have it all retrofitted for the vet surgery that we provide, would be between £50,000 to £70,000.
The extra money is being welcomed by those who support ULEZ expansion for environmental reasons, like the charity London Disability Network, which has already scrapped one of its minibuses.
It's a win-win. It helps the environment, and then we also get some money towards our minibuses. Making sure that we are a charity that actually really care about air pollution and about the environment really shows our members, and they feel much better about using our services.
Whether Sadiq is panicking politically or listening to Londoners, one thing is clear: he is not backing down. ULEZ is happening, and he hopes the grants will boost support. Carolyn Sim, ITV News.
To other news, and 6 people thought to be victims of modern slavery have been rescued in Barnet. Cash, watches and a handgun were seized in 15 raids involving hundreds of officers in Romania and around Colindale earlier this morning. 5 people are being questioned on suspicion of human trafficking. Police believe the women were trafficked by men pretending to be their boyfriends and forced into prostitution in London. People hoping to attend Brighton Pride tomorrow will have to find a different way to travel there, as no trains will be running between London and Brighton, as rail strikes will be impacting many services again. Southend United is fighting for survival. The football club is facing huge debts and has been given just 3 weeks to find £275,000 it owes to the taxman, or risk shutting down altogether. Daniel Henry reports.
Southend United are in trouble, and the fans know it. What would it mean to you if the club were to have to go out of business?
Well, it's just everything really. It's sort of been part of my life for such a long time. It's just sad. It's going to make me cry.
The players and the manager are worried too.
It's been a challenge, obviously, and facing stuff that you don't expect to face. But you handle it. You just do the best you can, and I think that without the staff, it becomes even more difficult. So to have good people around you, I think, makes a big difference.
The problem is, Southend United owe the taxman £275 grand, and if they can't find it by August 23rd, this club will go bust. The club's problems on the pitch have been raised in Parliament too.
And the 117-year-old club's future is on a knife edge.
The local MP is doing what she can to get this sorted, and she told me that she's in regular contact with the owners. You say that the owner has promised you that he's going to pay. Do you believe him?
He has told me and Sir James Duddridge, he's also told the National League that he will pay HMRC.
The clubs say they're committed to clearing their debts and making this sale happen. The fans know the future of this football family depends on it. Daniel Henry, ITV News.
Good luck to them. The first named storm of the season arrives this weekend. Let's get the forecast. Here's Philippa Drew.
Whatever the weather, it always feels like home. Vaillant Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV London Weekend Weather.
Good evening. Well, the next 24 hours is set to bring some very unseasonable weather, very wet and windy as we head through Saturday. Thankfully, signs of something a little bit quieter come Sunday. Out there at the moment, things do look relatively quiet, largely dry for much of the night, some clear spells around as well. But towards dawn, we'll see cloud thickening from the west, the first few spots of rain arriving and the breeze beginning to pick up as well. For all of us, a mild night, temperatures probably holding up in the low to mid-teens. But then tomorrow morning, things really go downhill. A spell of persistent and at times heavy rain, all courtesy of a deep area of low pressure the Met Office have named Storm Anthony. With that, we'll see some very brisk and blustery winds, and even once the rain clears, plenty of showers, some of which could be heavy and perhaps locally thundery. And of course, with all of this going on, I think temperatures will really struggle tomorrow, highs of just 18 or 19 Celsius. Thankfully, overnight into Sunday, Storm Anthony clears away eastwards. Behind it, the isobars start to open out, so winds easing down. Sunday itself, a mixture of sunny spells and showers, signs of something a little more settled, perhaps a little warmer as we head through the new week.
Vaillant Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV London Weekend Weather.
Thanks, Philippa. Storm season already. That's it from us. Bye-bye.